I get it, Windows updates are a pain in the backside, and they always pop up at the most infuriating moment possible. So what if you skip them? What if you just didn't bother? What's the worst that could actually happen? I'm going to show you. Welcome back to the Pro Tech Show. This video is a response to pseudo-technical advice I keep saying that you don't need to install updates and you should just disable them to stop them from annoying you or something performance. This is bad advice. In fact, it's downright dangerous, and I'm going to show you why. It's usually backed up by some kind of logical fallacy like, I didn't install updates and I didn't get hacked. Right? I didn't wear a seatbelt and my car didn't crash. I didn't buy a smoke alarm and my house didn't catch fire. What's your point? I do, by the way. I have a smoke alarm and I wear a seatbelt. I just said that to make a point about anecdotal fallacy. So I decided to take inspiration from a recent comment on one of my videos that said you don't need to install updates as long as you have antivirus. In fact, they went on to recommend that as long as you run antivirus, you're perfectly safe using Windows XP, which doesn't even receive updates anymore, so you couldn't even install them if you wanted to. I thought I'd give you a demo of that, but it's actually pretty hard to find an up-to-date antivirus that still works with Windows XP, so I'm going to do Windows 7 instead. This is a bit more modern, but it's still end of life, meaning it's reached a point where there are no more updates, and you shouldn't use it. But I'll take this guy at his word and not install updates. Well, not all of them. It's got Service Pack 1 and a few updates after that because I was having compatibility issues trying to use something this old without at least some updates. And I wanted to make sure I could actually install some current gen antivirus software. The antivirus used is Avira, because the Windows Defender that came with Windows 7 wasn't a full antivirus at this stage, so it didn't seem like a fair test. I chose Avira simply because it's free and it didn't force me to sign up for anything. I have no strong feelings about it. Some people would say running antivirus is enough, or that common sense about what websites you visit is enough. Antivirus is like your smoke alarm, and common sense browsing is like looking before you cross the street. Both are good, both will help you avoid danger, but neither will help should a drunk driver veer across a central reservation and slam into your car when you weren't wearing your seatbelt full of updates. So, let's go crash some cars? Here's a drunk driver, otherwise known as Kali Linux. The tool you see here is called Armitage, which is a front end for the infamous Metasploit toolkit. What you're looking at here is basically hacking for dummies, and it's kind of scary because I can just spam attacks from this without really needing to know how they work. The purpose here is not to give you a tutorial on Metasploit, but I am going to use it to launch an attack using an exploit called Eternal Blue to demonstrate my point. Let me be clear, I am attacking my own computer. Do not try and copy what I'm doing and use it in someone else's device without their permission. I'm not joking, you could go to jail. The Eternal Blue exploit is pretty famous. It was developed by the NSA and potentially affects every version of Windows from the 90s up to and including Windows 10. But the NSA themselves got hacked by a group called Shadow Brokers, who stole Eternal Blue and leaked it to the world. You likely remember what happened next as the WannaCry attack of 2017. WannaCry used Eternal Blue to breach computers and deliver a ransomware payload. It infected more than 250,000 machines in the very first day and caused billions of dollars in damage. I'm not going to use WannaCry, and frankly, I don't expect it would work today because the antivirus should block it, but I'm going to use the same Eternal Blue exploit to attack this Windows 7 machine, which does not have the update installed that Microsoft released to protect against it. I've got my Windows 7 machine selected as a target in Kali, and I'll run a quick check to see if it looks vulnerable. Great, it is. Nobody's updated it while I wasn't looking. I've got this ready, so I just need to type the word exploit and it's going to go off and run the attack. I can sit back while this does all the work. It's really quite scary how easy it is, and it has a huge library of exploits built in. Once you see lightning bolts, the computer has been hacked. That's game over, my friend. Mr. Common Sense Browsing didn't have to go to a dodgy website. If you don't install your updates, it becomes a case of if I can see you, I can hack you. But you want to see proof, right? Well, let's have a little rummage through your files, shall we? For a little bit of fun, I'm going to overwrite the desktop background. You won't see anything until something forces Windows to refresh it, so I'll kick the user off Windows 7 to do that. Come back up here and grab a command shell. This is the Windows 7 command prompt here. I'm controlling it from within Kali Linux, and I'm running as a Windows system account with all the permissions I could want. Log off session 1, and there he goes. I log him back into Windows, and you can see the desktop background I uploaded has taken effect. But what about the antivirus? There are no warnings that it stopped working. What gives? What about it? There's no virus here. I've remotely taken control of the computer using an exploit. As far as the antivirus is concerned, I'm just part of the computer now. But maybe I do want to run some malware. Well, I am the system account, so I could just uninstall the antivirus if I wanted to. Bye bye Avira. And don't blame Avira. If you don't install your updates, Avira doesn't stand a chance. Of course, this is all pretty obvious to the person using the computer, and I'm doing it for visual effect on this video. But rather than changing the background, logging you off, and removing your antivirus, a real attacker might do something more stealthy and more dangerous. Once you're breached like this, just look at how easy it is to steal your data. Besides the fact that I have access to all of your files, I can also run a keylogger to record everything you type. This includes every website you visit, every email you type, even your passwords. Just watch as my keystrokes on the Windows 7 machine get logged here in Kali. There's my PayPal login details. Your antivirus won't protect you. Your common sense won't protect you. Do you know what will protect you? The update Microsoft pushed out through Windows Update, the one I didn't install. Let's close down our attack and install the update now. Okay, we're back up, and I'm going to run another check from Kali to see if Windows 7 is still vulnerable. Oh, maybe not. Maybe the update did its job. I'll try the Eternal Blue exploit anyway. Nope, it's not working. Install your updates. Tools like this might seem terrifying, but all you need to do to neutralize them is install your updates. It's simple, but so very effective. And yes, I cherry-picked this scenario for demonstration purposes and to respond to a specific comment. But the exact exploit, operating system, or delivery method is irrelevant to the point I'm making. You could be running Windows 11 fully updated with the latest version of Microsoft Office installed, and if you haven't installed an update for Outlook in the last few weeks as I prepare this video, someone can hack you just by sending you an email. You don't even need to open it, you don't need to read it or click on anything. They found an exploit that causes Outlook to connect to the attacker and transmit your login credentials to them when it receives the email. If it arrives and you haven't installed the update, it's over. This is an arms race, and you're part of it whether you like it or not. The way to win is using antivirus, using a firewall, educating yourself about common sense usage habits, and installing updates. And oh yeah, one last thing. Some of you have already hit the comments down below. Go on, say hi, hit the like button while you're there. But some of you have already typed something to the effect of, don't bother installing updates, install Linux instead. If you want to install Linux, you go ahead and install Linux. But you know what you also need to install? Updates. Let's mosey on back to Kali here. It's not just Windows it has exploits for. It has a buttload of Linux exploits built in as well. Here's the deal. All of the major operating systems these days are pretty good at security, but all software has bugs that can be exploited, which is why it doesn't matter whether you're using Windows, Mac, Linux, or BSD, all of them provide security updates because all of them have flaws that need to be fixed. If you don't install the security updates, you are at risk because the bad guys are going to examine those updates to try and figure out what issue they fixed and how to exploit it. If you keep using an old version after it goes end of life and stops receiving the security updates, like Windows 7, you will always be at risk. Another thing that will put you at risk is not using multi-factor authentication, but some forms of multi-factor authentication aren't even secure themselves, so you want to watch this video to learn what options are actually going to protect you properly. Spoiler, if you're getting codes texted to your phone, that's not good.